Budget Blinds. Visit their showroom or call today for a free in-home consultation.
And Moses joins us for our first look at sports. Now, just 2 years removed from a national silver medal, Austin Dyer is building another contender this season.
Yeah, despite the Lakeland Rustlers, a women's volleyball team sitting in the middle of the pack with a 7-5 record, the team is starting to come around at the end of that year. We sat down with head coach Austin Dyer to get his thoughts on the first half of the season. Joining me here doing this year in review on the women's Rustlers volleyball team.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
If you had to give your team a grade in that first half of the year, what would it be?
In terms of work ethic, I think I would give us an A for sure. With the results that we came out with, maybe a B. At the same time, I think we did pretty good with what we had and what we were trying to accomplish. At the same time, there was a couple matches that we could have won that we didn't pull off at the end, and so if we sneak a couple of those out, our record's a little bit different, puts us in a better spot heading into the second semester. But at the end of the day, we're 7-5. We did okay. If
you had to look at the first years that are kind of matured into the second years now, and of course, it's always nice to have a girl like Michelle Lang, and not to mention Laura Popplestone, some veterans who've been around and have the experience of winning. How have you seen the maturity process of those second years going forward?
It's a whole year of learning and figuring things out, and usually they don't really get a chance to play a whole lot. And whereas last year was a little bit of a different year, the rookies coming in were at a very high level, and athletically we're ready to step in right away. And so they played a whole bunch of last season and kind of led our team in terms of statistics and whatnot. That's what we've seen, especially in the second half of this first semester, is we had some ups and downs losing Shelby, and we had to change our focus to doing some different things, and we were in situations where we could win, but we didn't come through and didn't pull it off, and had to learn from those things and had to realize that we got to work harder. We have to earn everything that we're going to get. Nobody's going to give it to us. And once we started to figure those things out, girls started to work harder. The intent was a little bit different in the gym.
What makes the second half so exciting?
We have Michelle Lang, a fifth year in the middle, Alyssa Granin, a third year in the middle, and then we have 3 of our second years that are all playing on the outsides. And so with Shelby and Annika at left side and Hannah at right side, we have 3 options right there that can all score and put the ball away. Our middles are definitely the best in the north. And then Laura Popplestone at libero, she's coming around and getting back into form as well. So again, we have one of the best liberos in the league. And then with Ray and Alex setting, we have a couple options there and different things that we can do. Like I like our team all the way around. Expectations were very high. We sit down and we discuss, what do we want to do with the season? What does our team look like? What do the other teams look like compared to last year? Where should we match up and how should things go for us? And coming in, we were very confident that we should have a chance to win our league. For sure get into a medal match, but definitely try to get to nationals, and that hasn't changed. Even though we had a bit of a rocky first semester, we're still in a position to qualify for the conference championships. And after the way that they went last year, there's a little bit of fire burning in the girls that they want to get back there and they want to prove that they can win those playoff matches.
Austin, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Now, the Max Midget Tournament has yielded some positive and negative results for a pair of Lloyd minor hockey teams. On the boys' side, the Bandit Pipeline Bobcats have been on fire, vaulting themselves to the top of their standings and in consideration as one of the favorites to win it all. Now, on the girls' side, the PWM Steelers, it's a much different story, losing some tough games, that is, looking to end the tournament on a high note today with a win against the St. Albert Slash. It was a game of missed chances for the Steelers, however. The Slash would get on the board in the second period with a power play marker, and then on a penalty shot, they would add an empty netter for the 3-0 victory over the Steelers. Now, it started off promising for the Lakeland Rustlers men's volleyball team, but soon inexperience caught up with them for a perfect record early on to those piling losses later in the year. Head coach Taylor Dyer is hoping for a reversal of fortunes in the second half, as we find out in the sit-down interview with Nair Manisa.
All right, so thank you so much for joining us, Taylor Dyer, 4th year as the head coach of the men's Rustlers volleyball coach. Now, let's just basically talk about the year that was. The season started off so promising for you guys, a 4-0 start, and then something happened. You guys 8 straight losses. 4 of them, you only won 1 set. The other 4, you guys were shut out completely. So basically, in the simplest of questions, what happened?
You know what, I think a little bit of lack of experience on our side. We lost a starting spot. He had to go home due to some family stuff, and so I mean it was a big impact for our team, and so trying to fill those holes as we kind of on the fly. I think that was a bit of a struggle for us, and then just making sure that the guys kind of gelled and things were looking really good, and then. I mean, we played some of the more difficult teams in the second half, and the end result wasn't what we were looking for.
So what do you think were some of the weaknesses your team showed in the first half that let you guys starting off so strong, but then faltering to a 4-8 record?
I think we weren't nearly as good on the defensive end of the ball as we needed to be. Offensively, we're great. We can hold our own with anybody. I mean, we do have the best player in the conference, so offensively we're perfectly fine. It was the defensive side of the ball, I think, that was a concern for us. And then the ability to get the ball to our attackers so that we could be successful. That was the big part for us, that we weren't able to really get those 2 phases of the game put together.
So you guys are going to have an extended break, basically almost 2 months off. That's a long time off for some of these guys. We know they have exams, they have the holidays. It's a very hectic time. So how do you make sure that your guys stay in game shape during this break?
They're going to stick with their weights and their conditioning program over the Christmas break, and obviously making good choices over the time that they're off. And then we're going to come back a little bit before the end of December to train some more and to lead us into that first week of January.
What do you need to get out of your boys to make up ground in the standings?
You know what, we just need to be a little bit better. I think there was a lot of matches that we played in the first half that if we're 5 or 10% better, it could have been our match to win. We just need to be a little bit better on our side of things and making less errors, and I think good things are going to happen.
And overall, just want to know, how would you have graded your team's effort in the first half?
That's a good question. I think there's a little bit of difference between grading our effort and grading what we've seen on the floor. I think our effort level has been great. I think every day guys are continuing to learn and get better, and that's all I can ask from this group. So I'm going to give our guys an A as far as their effort level and what they bring each day to try and get better. The product on the floor, on the other hand, I mean, we are 4-8, and I think that's not a representation of this group. I think we can be better than that, and so as far as our play, I think I'd give us probably more like a C+.